Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today, we're entering a world of uh, shimmering ballrooms and those sorts of places.
Oh, sounds fancy.
Yeah. Whispered secrets and hearts torn between duty and desire.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Duty and desire.
Right. Our source material is Kiera Cass's The Betrothed, and it plunges us right into the Koroan royal court. Have you read this one?
Yeah, it's one of those that just pulls you in. You think it's going to be all, fairy tale stuff, lavish parties, handsome princes.
Right, all that.
But the deeper you go, it's like, whoa, there's this whole web of power dynamics, really captivating stuff.
Yeah, it's more than just the romance, for sure. I was hooked for the very first page, but I'm really glad you're here to help us unpack all of this.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Great. So where should we start? Koroa itself, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to begin. One thing that really struck me about Kuroa is how tradition and law are like completely intertwined.
Especially when it comes to marriage.
Especially, I mean, divorce is practically unheard of. Infidelity. Oh, that's a huge offense.
And pretty much everyone has an arranged marriage. It makes you think, how do people even, figure out their own desires in a system like that?
Right. And that's what makes Hollis Bright so interesting. She's our main character, trying to find her place, but also she's got feelings for King Jameson.
And Jameson, come on, he's got that reputation, right?
Yeah.
Charming, but maybe not the most faithful guy. I feel like Hollis is being pretty cautious with him at first.
I think she's more than cautious. She's seen how he operates, showers a girl with attention, then moves on. Hollis is smart. She knows it might be temporary, doesn't want to get hurt.
It's almost like she's playing a game with him, at least in the beginning.
Maybe a little, yeah. But she's also got this other thing going on. The allure of being a Koroan queen.
Which is way more than just marrying a king, isn't it?
Oh, totally. Remember all those powerful queens, Albraid, Hanovi, Laya?
Right. Those women shaped the nation.
Their legacies are huge, bigger than a lot of the kings they were married to.
So Jameson isn't just offering her a crown.
Yeah.
It's like he's offering her a chance to be a legend, have her own voice, leave a mark on history.
Exactly. And for someone like Hollis, who clearly wants to be more than just a wife, that's gotta be tempting.
For sure. And he's playing into those desires, right? Think about all the big gestures. The boat trip down the river.
Oh, yeah, with the royal standard flying just for her.
That whole garden of flowers he gave her.
So extravagant.
It's not just romance. It's like a calculated move. Cement her position, elevate her status.
He's basically showing her off to the whole court.
Like, look, this is the future queen. Is it genuine, though? Or is it all just a power play?
Tough to say. But remember that scene where she gets Lord Seema to support the road improvement project?
Yeah, that was a good one.
She showed everyone she's intelligent, strategic.
Way more than just a pretty face.
It's a big moment. She's stepping into her power. Makes you believe she could actually be a really good queen.
I love that. But then, just when things seem to be going her way, you've got King Quentin of Isolde showing up with his young queen, Valentina.
But yeah, that changes everything.
It's like they disrupt the whole Koroan court vibe, right?
Completely different culture, different values, and they're not afraid to challenge things.
Quentin, I mean, he seems pretty intimidating.
Oh yeah, kind of menacing.
And Valentina,
A little aloof at first.
not really into those Koroan customs. Even their fashion choices are different.
That assault in blue.
A statement. Right.
Totally. Like, we're different and we're not hiding it. It's almost a subtle form of rebellion.
But I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're right, that blue really sets them apart. And then you've got that incident at the tournament. Silas Eastoff.
Oh, yeah, the Sultan refugee. Amazing artisan.
He chooses to wear neither red for Koroa nor blue for Isolde.
Trying to find a middle ground, honor both places.
A good intention, for sure.
But backfires big time. Jameson sees it as a huge insult.
Which creates this big rift between him and Hollis.
It's like she's starting to see how limited Jameson's worldview is. He's so focused on tradition and power, he misses the value in different perspectives.
You can really see how this incident is a turning point for Hollis.
Absolutely. It's just the beginning of a much bigger journey for her. She's about to learn a lot about international relations, hidden agendas, and the tough choices you have to make in a world that doesn't always value honesty or compassion.
Okay, so much to discuss, but we'll have to pick this up next time.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. See everyone on the next deep dive.
Bye.
Quentin and Valentina, it feels like they're shaking things up at the Koroan court.
Oh, for sure.
Like forcing everyone to look beyond the surface,
Yeah, their arrival sort of exposes the cracks in that perfect facade, doesn't it?
Totally. And it's not just them. Even those gifts they exchange with Jameson.
You mean those twin gifts, the ones the Eastoff family made?
Right. Such a diplomatic move, but did it really work?
I mean, on the surface, maybe, but I think the real turning point is when Hollis and Valentina team up.
You're talking about that whole thing with the food and the Sultan customs.
Exactly. They appealed to Quentin in a way no one else could have. It's pretty remarkable when you think about it.
It is. Two women from completely different worlds, both tracked by expectations, but they find this common ground and actually achieve something.
And they do it by going outside those traditional roles. It's like this theme that runs through the whole book, the power of female bonds.
You see it again and again. But speaking of turning points, what about that kiss between Hollis and Silas? It felt like a bolt out of the blue.
It was definitely a charged moment. And I don't think it was just physical attraction, you know? There's this deeper yearning there.
For something real.
Yeah, something authentic, something that doesn't exist in that Roman court.
It's interesting how that kiss happens right after Hollis learns about Valentina's struggles. The miscarriages, her loneliness.
Right. It's like suddenly Hollis sees this stark contrast between her own gilded cage and what Valentina's going through.
And Jameson starts to look different too, right? Less charming, more controlling.
Exactly. He doesn't want a queen who thinks for herself. He wants someone who will just reflect his glory.
Oh, and we can't forget about Delia Grace.
Oh, right.
Turns out she had her eye on Jameson originally.
Poor Delia Grace.
Hollis basically stole her future, even if she didn't mean to.
It adds this whole other layer of complexity to Hollis's choices, doesn't it?
It does. And then, bam, Silas confesses his love, tells her to leave Caro with him.
Talk about a risky proposition. He's offering her freedom, but it means rejecting everything she's ever known.
Security, status, her family.
It could cost her everything.
But it also goes straight to the heart of her journey, doesn't it? Choose the familiar path. Stay in that gilded cage.
Or take a leap of faith, embrace the unknown.
It's a huge decision.
And what does she do? She chooses Silas, erupts with him.
Talk about a bold move. I mean, she knows it'll cause a scandal, but she does it anyway.
It's a huge victory for her own personal freedom, but it comes at a price.
She's cut off from her family, right? Her future is uncertain.
Totally. And then, just when she's starting to build a new life, you have that horrible attack on Abercrest Manor.
The darkest nights. Silas and his family dead.
It's a brutal reminder that no matter how much you try to defy the rules, the world can still be a very dangerous place.
It's chilling to think that Quentin orchestrated it all, to protect his power no matter the cost.
It really makes you question the whole idea of power, doesn't it? How it can corrupt even the most well-intentioned people.
So we're left with Hollis grieving, displaced, a widow without a home. But there are these little glimmers of hope, aren't there?
You mean the Eastoff family's secret lineage?
Right. And that ring Hollis inherits.
It's like her journey isn't over yet. She's connected to them in ways she never could have imagined.
Like their story is going to become part of hers now.
In a way, yeah. And in the end, she chooses to go to Isolde with the remaining members of the Eastoff family.
Leaving behind everything she's ever known.
It's a farewell, but it's also a new beginning. Full of uncertainty, but maybe also a chance for something real.
Wow. So much to unpack there.
I know, right? It's an ending that stays with you.
It really does feel like she had to lose everything to truly find herself.
It's powerful, right? And it's something a lot of us can relate to, even if our lives aren't quite so, dramatic.
Yeah, we've all had those moments where we have to make a big decision. Question what we believe, what's expected of us.
Exactly. And The Betrothed really gets you thinking about those choices. It's more than just a romance, that's for sure.
One thing I really appreciated was how Cass uses all these symbols, like Isoltan blue.
Oh, yeah, it's more than just a color.
Right. It represents everything Isolt stands for. Individuality, art, a whole different way of life.
Totally different from that Coroa rigidity.
Makes you wonder, could someone like Hollis ever fully embrace that Isoltan spirit? I mean, after everything she's been through.
That's the question, isn't it? And it's something we can all ask ourselves. What are our own Isoltan blues, The things we long for that maybe go against what's expected of us.
I love that idea. Like, what would it take for us to really embrace those things? To stand out, maybe even risk disapproval?
Sometimes it means making a big change. But sometimes it's the small things. Speaking your mind, Or finding a way to pursue something you're passionate about.
Right. Setting boundaries, maybe. It's about finding those moments where we can be our true selves, even if it's just a little bit rebellious.
Exactly. But here's a thought I had. Imagine you're Hollis, okay, and you're facing this choice.
Okay, I'm listening.
On one hand, you have Kuroa. Familiar, safe, predictable, it's comfortable, but it also has all those limitations and expectations.
On the other hand,
Isolte. Unpredictable, maybe a little dangerous, but it offers freedom, a chance to create a life that's truly your own.
so the big question is, which path would you choose?
And what would influence that choice? Would you pick security over freedom? Or would you be willing to risk everything for a chance at something real?
It's a tough one. No easy answers. But I think The Betrothed really makes you think about these things, about societal expectations, and ultimately about our own journeys of self-discovery. It's a reminder that life doesn't always go as planned, but maybe that's where the real adventure lies.
I think that's a great way to put it. We definitely encourage everyone to check out The Betrothed themselves and see what they discover. And as you're reading, think about your own Isoltan Blue. What choices are you making that reflect your own values and desires?
That's a great question to leave everyone with. Until next time, happy reading.